everybody. Welcome back to Guys on Sports. Whoa, where are we? Oh my gosh, this isn't the usual set. There's a Mark on set too. Wow. Everything's just out of the blue, out of the ordinary today. But guess what? This is our Guys on Draft set. We are doing a lot of fun renovations for you on the Guys on Sports set. So make sure you like, subscribe, tune in because the set's going to look really nice soon.
You're going to be able to see our legs again. Yes. I know you're excited about that.
Yeah. Bonus. Yeah. And we get to sit.
Phil hasn't shaved his legs in a few weeks, getting ready for it.
You guys shave?
No, I just was trying to catch you off guard since you're scrolling.
I'm not off guard. My eyes. Instagram? I don't listen with my eyes, brother.
Do you shave?
Shave what?
Your legs?
No.
Oh. No, you were asking like it was like everybody
he
should.
said I shaved my legs.
Like everybody should like use wipes on their ass and throw
what
in
do
the
you
trash
shave?
can. Like you made it like that.
You look like you shave a lot of stuff.
Just naturally not hairy.
Can you turn that off? You think it's you just want to do work while we're on the show?
Hey, as usual, Phil's in a good mood.
No, it's just I'm tired of hypocrisy over here.
Rocky's been looking up property on the show for
come on, man.
3 years.
Listen, my time is valuable. We ain't earning shit from this show yet.
Yeah, so speaking of the show, what are we doing today? We've been covering the AFC and the fantasy MVPs and the fantasy bust. Now we're into the NFC.
That's right.
Last week we did the NFC East, players you should draft because they're going to boom, and the players you should not draft because they're going to bust. This week we're going to be taking on the NFC West. Before we get into the NFC West MVPs and busts, a quick little word from Thrive Fantasy, who is a partner and a sponsor of the show. Thank you, Thrive Fantasy. If you're not doing your daily fantasy at all, you should be doing that, and you should do it through Thrive. Our members get a $250 match. Why are you looking at me? Throwing me off.
You're talking.
Staring at me. I got weird vibes.
Bro's mad.
Am I schizophrenic?
No, see.
$250
Bro's
match,
nervous.
instant deposit. Click the link in the bio, scan the QR code on screen. You also get free prop squares that you can add to your parlays. And now into TikTok Take.
Time to check my social media, yeah. To see who loves me online.
What are you guys doing on your phone? You guys have a secret thread about me while I'm talking?
I think everything is just out of...
Bro's insecure, huh?
Bro's in a different environment.
Supreme narcissistic behavior right there.
Sorry, gentlemen. Let me get the
What do you got going
stuff
on
pulled
there,
up here.
My notes.
Is Doja Cat? Okay.
The first comment, we've actually been getting a lot of awesome engagement through Instagram, so thank you for doing that. Follow us anywhere at GON Podcasts in order to see our clips and engage with us. This first comment is from Mike _, I'm going to say Line.
My cousin Mike?
No, not your cousin Mike. This guy doesn't look like your cousin.
Inside joke.
So this comment is about how Phil said that Malik Neighbors could be the next Tyreek Hill.
Fuck this guy, whoever it is. Fuck him.
Already, he doesn't even know. It might be supportive.
It might be.
I didn't even take the ruthless comment. I just took like a
Ruthless?
nice normal
What could be
one.
ruthless? What could they say that's
There
ruthless?
was a
Ruthless?
guy put a video of a guy doing this.
Yeah, it was Daniel
That's
Jones.
okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's ruthless.
This comment from Mike says, I think he is a more explosive Debo. Do we think that's more of a fair comp than Tyreek Hill?
All I was saying, his speed, he does have comparable speed to Tyreek Hill.
I couldn't figure out, though, whether he was trying to cut Phil down or was just making a fair comment.
I think he was making a fair comment.
I think he's making a fair comment.
I think Debo's kind of a bum, so I think it's a negative analysis.
Debo's not a bum.
I think he's kind of a bum.
He might not be as good as people make him out to be, but he doesn't make him a bum.
If you take the positive spin, I think that Debo is like the more versatile player because you can line him up in the backfield. You can line him up at any position.
More gadgety?
A little bit bigger and fast. If he's being positive. We're going to assume
I can't think of Debo
positive.
without thinking of Fridays.
Well, Fridays is a restaurant.
And a day of the week.
Yeah. Well, it's both those two things.
Yeah.
And it's a great movie.
When I think of Debo,
Don't.
He said Fridays. When I think of Debo, I think of the Bourbon Street Chicken.
It's funny that you could call that dish up. It's definitely a Friday's dish.
It's Friday's dish, 100%.
Yeah.
So anyway, my original comment, I was saying speed. That his speed
kills.
Was like the kind of speed that Tyreek Hill has. I think he's talking more style of receiver stuff.
Potentially.
Right? I don't know if I see... I mean, Debo is fast, but it's more a straight line kind of he's not a lot of wiggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Malik Neighbors doesn't give off bum energy, so bad comp.
Yeah, Beckham, dude.
Yeah.
So I was right originally.
I'm sure there's a better receiver somewhere. We're getting on track though. It's not Tyreek Hill. It's not
I'm
Debo.
hoping that Neighbors is as advertised because if what Phil said last week, if DJ is back with
DJ's back.
with Jalen Hyatt, that could be
DJ's
low
back.
key solid wide receiver core.
Yeah, I think it could be a situation where they make each other better because Jalen needs somebody who can take the
And
top
then you got
off.
Wandell in the slot. I mean,
Wandell is actually
They're picking
good.
up Kadarius again.
Kadarius is back, baby.
is he really?
No,
Human joystick.
they won't even let him in the building.
Wandale, get in the slot, Wandale. That could be fucking. That could be a low key great wide receiver core.
Is there a
We'll revisit this in
coach
3 weeks
from
when
the South
you guys are
and
bad.
racist?
I think
this
they,
week
Freddie
504.
Kitchens. Freddie Kitchens is the Freddie Kitchens.
The
All right,
second,
next top
Hey,
comment.
by the way,
Oh, boy.
should we draw the attention to guys on
Didn't
draft?
he do that?
yeah, we did that.
Did you do that already?
just did.
Well,
Well, he
He
was
was,
reading
he was
his
typing away.
business email.
He was emailing back
I
the real
may or may
Doja
not
Cat.
have bought a house while he was doing that.
Wow.
I can't help it.
Now Rocky swears he's DMing the real Doja Cat back and forth.
No, that was him. That's
She's real.
Yeah.
The second comment is from YouTube. Thanks for being a YouTube subscriber. Maximum Overdrive 7554 was replying to Rocky and how Rocky doesn't like wrestling. He thinks it's stupid. And then
Old man take.
He said, "Go tell a wrestler how fake it is. None of you could take a bump."
Well, I think what he was
A bump
yeah, he
like
was definitely
cocaine
cutting
or
me
like
down.
wrestling bump?
There was a comment
Who knows?
another person had put about how it was fake, and then
No,
he goes,
unfortunately, this is just the primary comment, Rocky.
Well, no, but there were several comments. 'cause
Well, we're not
popular.
talking about those comments.
We're
though.
popular.
He was talking to you.
Yeah, we're talking about this comment.
He was
Address this
definitely
comment.
Talk to
talking to
Maximum
me.
Overdrive
He
9775
was
whatever.
definitely talking to me and to another guy.
So
But
are you talking about
Wrestling is fake.
choreographed wrestling, or are
Wrestling
you
is
talking about
fake.
like your singlet?
the
and
script-
I'm
Talking
going
about
to compete
WWE.
I don't like scripted sports.
Because Greco-Roman is real, Rocky.
Well, we're not talking about.
Yeah, you're right. I agree. And if I was
so we're
wrestling
unicorns.
a guy from Iowa, the University of Iowa, yeah, that'd be real. This
what a shot at the University
people,
of Iowa.
well, they're the best
Well,
wrestling
it's-
program in America.
Oh,
It's
never
Honestly, bring up his
scripted,
name
though.
though.
Yeah, but
It doesn't
I
make
can't
things.
remember it.
They're still doing the things.
is
still
there
some-
Iowa was a
is
wrestling
there
factory.
danger in the
It's still athletic. They're still somersaulting
sure,
off
but
the
I
top
didn't
rope.
say it was unathletic.
No,
I
you
said it was
said that
fake.
when I said, but that doesn't.
It's scripted.
Scripted is different than fake.
If I thought the NFL was scripted, I would stop watching.
Ooh, okay, sure.
Yeah, but the NFL doesn't sell itself as an entertainment. It's a sport.
Well, I mean, they're registered as an entertainment.
Tell
Sure
that to
are.
Mickey Rourke, man. He beat his body up portraying Randy the Ram in the wrestler.
I'm not saying they don't get hurt. I'm not
That was a
saying
movie.
that
Well,
it
when you
isn't
say- that was a
athletic.
fake-
I'm
when you say
saying
all
it's fake.
wrestling.
No, it's fake. It's scripted.
well, when you say it's fake, it implies that you're saying everything's fake.
No, I didn't say.
No, I'm
it's
telling
fake.
you what it. No, it's not. No, that's what it implies.
I-
You
it
just
was-
make a
it's-
blanket statement fake.
Scripted.
It's like your persona, right? It's like
Listen.
some of it is true, some of it's fabricated. So I'm not
it
gonna
ath-
call you fake. I'm saying
Okay,
sometimes you
let
act
me
different.
ask you a question.
Yeah.
NASCAR. Is
Okay.
it a sport?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they
Because they're competing.
Is it a skill?
Cargo,
Yes.
cargo.
There.
They
I
do
mean,
it- they
to
do
me, a
have to-
sport is something athletic. Like you sweat.
It is athletic. They
You-
do.
They sweat
They
because
lose.
they're
You're crazy, huh?
they
You
sweat
s-
because they're in
You sit in a
outfits that are
150
like
degree car for
keeping
4.5
them from being
hours.
you know burnt to death.
You're crazy.
Have you ever seen a fat race car driver?
Well, I've seen a fat golfer. That's a sport.
Well, we're not talking about golf. Stop. You're moving the goalposts.
Yeah. All right, listen.
You're in the corner. Just give up.
and pool host. That's a baseball player.
Yeah,
What?
he's fat. He's
he's
saying he's
fake.
fat.
He wasn't always fat.
That was the pool host
Okay.
callback, I think.
Okay.
Because he
I
didn't know who
missed it.
Pool House was ages
I
ago.
missed it.
Might have been the last
Listen,
episode I was on, like
Is
a year and a half ago.
wrestling
That was good.
athletic? Sure. Sure.
Sure.
It's scripted. I don't like
The
scripted
outcome
crap.
is scripted. Yeah,
I
but
want
it's
you to
still,
tell
it's
Maximum
still,
Overdrive that you can take a bump.
Yeah.
I would. Sure, I could take one. I
You
might
die.
die, but I could take one.
Okay, fair. I got what I wanted.
Okay.
All right, cool. So that was TikTok Take. Thank you for continuing to engage us. We seriously do love it. All joking aside, thank you for
Except for
engaging.
Matt.
I
with
don't
us.
think he understands what he just signed up for.
No,
right?
I don't
I really
care.
don't.
It's like, listen, anything he clips from me is going to make me sound bad.
No.
Not everything.
Wow, you see?
No.
Yeah,
Here we go.
When you
And
do
I'm
that,
okay. I'm okay with that.
Political ad campaign signed me, I guess.
when you clip him saying I can take a bump, you should put a vacuum cleaner noise and then just snow going up his
And then
nose.
like jail.
Bro doesn't like how you portray him online, I think.
Bro. Yeah.
Oh man,
Road?
Wow.
Bro, I'm calling you bro.
Oh, okay.
I don't like
Bro.
the set being for guys on sports. I feel weird. I feel out of my element.
Yeah,
I don't know. It feels like we're talking about sports like very intimately. I'm kind of digging this.
All right. Well,
Maybe because you don't have an undershirt on.
That could be why.
TikTok take is over. Now it's time for fantasy football. Alrighty, so NFC West, NFC West fantasy MVPs. We usually start with Phil, but we should start with Rocky. Go down the line.
Well, can we first this?
Oh, here we go.
I mean, there are so many players
Yes,
that
there
you
are.
could have picked
There
to
are.
be a boom or a bust.
It's
to
a
me,
good division.
Yeah, this is a good division, very deep. You're gonna
Stripe.
yeah, but
For a division that I can't effing stand, this division
Very
has a
boring
lot
to
of-
watch. Yeah.
A
Never
lot
exciting.
of first round.
it's fair.
It's one of the most boring divisions to watch.
Implications.
I mean, I was like trying to decide who to pick, and there were several quarterbacks you might pick. Several.
You might say 4.
Well, I wouldn't pick one from this division, but okay. Mine, I'm not going to overthink it. I am a fan of the Ohio State.
Oh, you're going chalk.
And my boom is going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he is going to be, now they do have Trey McBride. I think he's also going to be targeted pretty heavily.
Pretty good,
but
yeah.
I think Marvin is going to be somewhere around 13 to 1,400 yards. I think he's going to probably do double digits touchdowns. And I think he's going to run a little bit, to be honest. He did it at Ohio State.
Really?
So he didn't do it a ton, but he did it enough to get a couple hundred yards.
Yeah.
I think in 10 years we'll be talking about how this guy has already got a Hall of Fame career.
Well, you know who else can do a bump is going to be his running mate, Michael Wilson, who's going to take a bump in his statistics this year, too, because of Marvin Harry Jr. That's going to be a low-key, it's going to be very low-key lethal wide receiver situation, much like the Giants might find themselves in. if
I
Daniel
think
Jones
theirs
can
is
get his
not
shit
low
together.
key.
That's wait.
I don't think theirs is low key.
That's
Michael
insane.
Wilson? I don't know.
Wait, so you said that Michael Wilson's going to do really good or well,
Yeah.
and then you compared the fact that the Cardinals wide receiving core might be good
the
because
Giants.
and also the Giants.
Well, no, so I mentioned earlier about low-key good wide receiver core. Like, I'm not expecting a whole lot out of
Hey,
Arizona at
throttle
all.
back with your Giants hate, okay?
I'm just
But-
saying. You said Cardinals will be good, and so will the Giants. Is what I
But
got from that.
I like
Yeah,
the
what's
I like
crazy
the
about
well,
that?
I mean, you don't know, right? You don't know.
What's crazy about that,
So
guy?
there was talk about Harrison.
He
There was talk
was
about
gonna suck,
neighbors.
I saw the script.
There was the talk about which of those two was the better wide receiver in this class.
Shitty
Now
Eagles
they're
fans.
both
Haven't won
paired with a previous year third round mediocre wide receiver
Yes.
that could both get major upticks this year if you're looking for like deep wide receiver 2 flex plays.
Well, and like even Kyler, like I honestly don't love the guy. I think he's going to have a short career. And
I get it, 'cause he's short.
in general, but
I get it because he's not the height of an NFL quarterback.
But I think he's going to have a great year. Like I seriously thought about, do
Yeah.
you choose him as a boom candidate?
Yeah.
Because I think you can get him probably in maybe
You know
a
what we
third
could
round.
do? We could just do the show, right? And let me go.
Good segue.
Fuck.
Good pick.
Yeah, so my boom goes hand in hand with Marvin Harrison and the guy you just about to talk about. I'm going Kyler Murray.
Oh, I did not.
To your point, Kyler Murray is going 8th round, 2nd pick, QB 10, ADP. All right, so for that value, I think you could pretty reasonably expect him to finish higher than 10. Few reasons. Last year, when he came back, that offense was 2nd in plays per drive, or right around 7. He had probably the second lowest turnover rate, highest missed tackle, forced missed tackle rate of his career, averaging 10 yards per scramble. He was first in the league with a 50% first down and touchdown conversion rate. Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride, forgetting about Dortch, who I think is going to take some of those carries you're thinking Harrison's going to get. And I do think Michael Wilson is kind of probably turning it up this year. But I think Harrison will get kind of that respect that a wide receiver one
He's
gets
going
right out of the
8th round?
gate. Yeah, kind of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's- I mean,
so,
to
I
me,
mean,
that's
a
a
guy
steal.
that probably, at worst case, if he doesn't get hurt, is going to be the 10th quarterback. But I think with the running and the weapons, he'll be a lot higher.
Yeah, I like the pick. I think that's probably the most underrated one of the ones that we're going to talk about, and it's on my radar now.
I mean, that's a guy that I feel like could finish top 5.
That's a really good value pick.
Yeah,
If
I
he's
think
the QB10.
the only thing you worry about with him is his health.
Injury,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, but if not, I think Arizona's done a
Low-key?
pretty good job of forming an offense.
I don't know. I mean, they don't have a really good running back situation. They don't have a wide receiver
James
too.
Conner, how dare you?
He's like 40
It's
now.
not terrible, though. He was solid last year.
Yeah, but
He's 1,000-yard back.
And they brought in the rookie too, right? Who
They
was
drafted
it?
somebody,
Was it
yeah.
Benson?
he
Trey
wasn't
Benson,
that good, though.
yeah.
You know, Benjamin wasn't that good. I think that was his name.
No, they brought in.
They brought in the
this year.
FSU,
Trey
the
Benson,
guy
I think.
from FSU, right?
Oh,
Trey
heard.
Benson.
Got it.
Yeah, because
Glad to see that we're still on point with segues too.
Yeah.
Our segues are fantastic.
All right, cool.
Well, didn't you just jump in his thing last time, idiot?
Hey, we're all jumping around.
Hey, you
Come
just spoke about segues. It's your turn.
All right.
Yeah,
So
segue.
I'm gonna eat some shit for this. I know I am.
It'll be the
because,
first time.
I think he's going into his age 29 season. He's had a couple of injuries, but I think they're in his past. My boom this season is I think Cooper Kupp is back. I think Cooper Kupp got healthy at the right time of the year. I think Stafford is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I really do, talent-wise. Puka Nacua with a year under his belt, performing like he did. You know, I think they're real. Kyron Williams went off. I think they brought a tight end in the town, right? And they're waiting on Higbee to come back from injury to see if he's fully healthy this year. But I think Cooper Kupp, where you're getting him now, especially too. I think his ADP right now is 72.
That's crazy.
So you're getting him in the 7th round. You're getting him as your wide receiver 3. I will 100% of the time roll the dice on a potential wide receiver 1 in the 7th round, because I feel like that's a round that you can kind of punt anyway if you do misstep a little bit, because you can come right back in 8, because all you're doing is you're trying to fill up your major slots, your running back, your wide receivers, and backing them up to make sure all your bye weeks are filled. So I'm without a doubt taking Cooper Kupp at that ADP of 72.
Are you looking that up?
I was trying to look up and see who the
tight
tight end
end?
they brought in. Yeah, because
I thought did they draft one? I think they drafted a tight end.
Yeah,
They got rid of Joe
I'm blanking
Herbert.
on his name, but
Yeah, he was-
I'll look it up real quick.
And Higbee, I think Higbee was injured towards the end of the season, right? And then came back prematurely. I'm trying to recall. I can't remember exactly.
Okay, good take. Until I get to my
Great
pushback.
take.
But do you guys have anything first?
Trying to think. I mean, I could push back. No, I'll let you go.
So the other side of that coin, hey, segue here. I'm going to take the other Rams wide receiver. I'm taking Puka as my fantasy MVP of the NFC West for kind of for the opposite reasons of why you would take Kupp. I mean, one, he's old. The injury history is there. And even with the 26% target share, Cooper Kupp had 1.7 yards per route run. It's a career low. Like, he just wasn't. They wanted to give him the
He
ball.
wasn't healthy.
It just wasn't when he came back, though. Even
Yeah,
when
he still wasn't healthy though.
yeah, but so now he's healthy at the right time after playing through injury for like 9 weeks of football.
He's had an entire offseason to get healthy.
He was healthy in the offseason last year. He got hurt. I just don't know if I can rely on the fact that Kupp will be there. Either way, Puka, I mean, we don't need to talk too much about how well Puka did, but a few stats: 29% target share. He was the 4th among wide receivers. That's including when Kupp came back. He was 1st in YAC. He was 3rd in receiving EPA. I just don't think this train's slowing down anytime soon, especially not in his sophomore year. When people learned about Puka on tape and tried to game plan for him, without a Kupp, they couldn't stop him. With a Kupp, they couldn't really stop him. I just really love the floor. I'll take him at his ADP. I think he can run it back.
Well, what was the big spotlight game that he was on at the end of the season where they did shut him down? He had like 3 catches for like 7 yards or something.
Yeah, because I would push back now. I think Puka, he's a safe pick. And I think even as a sophomore, the worst he's probably going to do is 1,200 yards. Last year he did 1,500 yards, 105 receptions, but only 6 touchdowns. But when Cooper was in, so they played together for a decent amount, but there was a lot of, I think Cooper was injured for,
A good chunk in
Yeah,
the
like
beginning
it
of the
was-
season, yeah.
forget if it was 5 games, whatever it was. But when
Maybe
Kupp
more.
was in the game, he had 2 fewer targets, 3 fewer catches. His touchdown per game average went down, and his yards went down by 25 yards. So that's my fear. My only fear is not that he's a great,
Yeah.
but that you're going to have to draft him.
That's a what? Like a 3% decrease. Like, that's not a lot per game.
I mean, so he stats out at 85 receptions compared to 105, still really good. 1,200 yards compared to 1,486. No, actually, I do think his touchdowns could pop up, but it was stat out to only 5 touchdowns. It's not bad. It's just, is it 1-1?
Is it MVP worthy? I think if you look at the Rams offense, right, you have Stafford getting older, injury concerns. Kupp, same thing. Kyron Williams got hurt last year. Rebuild an offensive line that is decent. The defense is getting better. Like, what's the thing you can hang your hat on if you're Sean McVay? It's the guy that just was the damn near rookie of the year.
Here's going to be
but
my pushback, though, and it's going to be pushback against what you said. You called him a slam dunk. I think having to draft him in the top 8 picks, which is where he is going,
And that's my
there
point,
is
yeah.
no slam dunk there for me as of right now.
And that's kind of where I lean too, because even having this monster season, he had 4 games where he had over 120 something yards.
You're gonna have to get him in the top 8.
Yeah.
Hey, push
I
back.
feel like I can name 8 receivers I'd rather have than him.
Well, yeah, you
I
might
easily could as
because
well.
I think you've got some like history, but I think a lot of people they just go with what's hot.
Pushback on the pushback. In the first round, I love a high floor. Like, I would take Puka
So
over
you're
a lot of
saying
those guys.
there's like, all right.
Well, that's just like to the point of that point. I still think he could be a boom.
Well, pushback on the pushback on
Well,
the pushback.
I didn't even get to push
Well,
back
only-
yet.
The comment
He
to
only
your
had
point.
6 touchdowns.
Yeah,
6,
exactly.
and he had a monster season.
And he was, yeah.
That
Yeah, so
scares me.
that doesn't go the other way. Why do you think
his
that goes the other
Yeah,
way?
it's not going to go up.
His touchdowns
because
weren't. He didn't have that many touchdowns last year.
That's what he's
it's 6.
saying.
That's what I'm
That's what he's
saying.
saying.
So
Yeah,
now
that
when
could
you're
go-
sharing
that
the
could be
field
better.
with Cup,
It could be
How
better.
it
It could
could
be
go down.
worse.
Oh yeah, you're picking one of those things.
Fool's
Well,
gold,
that's what
friend.
the show is, son.
I'm saying
Fool's gold,
the target
friend.
share that he had, how efficient he was when he was on the
he
field.
was efficient.
It just
And he
I
was a
don't
target
see,
hog for sure.
Regression. The slow and Samoan.
Yeah, I mean-
Regression.
Typically, when a guy has a year like that, was super efficient, he's just blowing stuff out of the water. It typically doesn't go like get better the next year.
Well, I mean,
Well, Zig did say
Typically.
Zag.
yeah, typically
Patterns are
you're
showing
right.
good.
Although I will say, Justin Jefferson and Jamar both had really strong second seasons. But that's what I'm saying. He
And
might
that's who
have
we're-
a strong
That's what
second
we're talking about
season.
here. Like, we're talking about like
I don't
wide
think he
receiver
is.
ones.
See, I don't think Puka is that.
I don't think he is either.
Puka caught lightning in a bottle last year, and he's an amazing possession receiver.
All right, real quick.
Who was getting targeted 8 times a game, 10 times a game.
So, would you take him over Tariq Hill?
No,
Would you take him over Justin Jefferson?
no,
Take him over Jamar Chase?
Maybe this year.
no.
Does anybody want to add in here?
Or
I mean, I
CeeDee
could go
Lamb.
more.
Take
Yeah,
him
would you
over
take him over
CeeDee
CeeDee Lamb?
No.
Would you
Oh,
take?
yes, I would take him over CeeDee Lamb.
What?
Yes.
What?
Did you hate that?
Yes, we talked about CeeDee Lamb. Check out last week's
Okay,
episode.
so you take him over. Would you take him over AJ Brown?
Just so we know,
would.
CeeDee Lamb is the
And
consensus number
Devontae
1 wide
Smith,
receiver off
your
the board this year so
MVP
far.
for the East.
Well,
Okay.
people make up like.
Hey, we're not done, right? I'm trying to make a point.
I think
Who
you
else?
guys-
Go ahead.
Okay.
That's
Would you
think you
take him
made
over
it.
Amari Cooper?
Yes.
Yeah, I would.
Well, I think that's
Would you
where
take
I
him
have
over
him
Quentin
right there.
Johnson?
You have Puka Nacua.
This is an
with
interesting
Amari
guy.
Cooper.
Yeah,
Quentin Johnson.
I had them together in the same field. Yeah.
He's going to be in a weird situation.
Why? Why not?
I don't know. Just
Puka's done it 1 year with Cup off the field for a good chunk of it. Why do you
okay.
think that?
I mean, it's
Cooper's done it for a
There
decade.
was only 5 games where they were on the field together for the whole game.
Do you take Puka over DJ Moore?
yes, easily almost.
I don't like how you
Easily
said
is
that so
crazy.
matter of fact.
Well, yeah, because
But he
you
said
have
it matter of fact about
He's
AJ
about to
too.
lose
the
this
rest
year,
of
son.
the rest
He
of
said
the
it about CD Lamb. So yeah, he's just
I've got
that's his
reasons.
guy this year. I get it.
no Puka's not. I would take 4 or 5 other receivers ahead of Puka, but hey, those are maybe fantasy MVPs of their divisions. This is just Puka in the NFC East or
Yeah,
NFC
so
West.
you're saying you feel comfortable taking Puka in the first 8 picks is what
Yeah, I mean, it depends on like my landscape of the league, what I want to do in the
Well,
draft.
if you're
but
taking
yes,
the
I
first
like-
8 picks, he's your wide receiver 1.
yes, which means
So
that
you're
like,
taking him over.
Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, they're all gone.
No.
Their ADP is definitely
Tariq
better
Hill
than
was
Puka.
gone. Was still there at the end of the first round last year.
Well, yeah, but not. I don't think this year he will be.
No, he won't. Yeah, but there'll be somebody there that's better than Puka.
The guys that you named have better ADPs than Puka.
They do. Puka,
Yeah.
I think,
I would take
is
those
the
guys over
sixth,
Puka.
That's
sixth
true.
wide receiver coming off the board right now, behind the 5 aforementioned.
That sounds
Phil-
appropriate.
Yeah, but
And
you
I
said
love the
he's
high
the
floor.
8th.
I just think that it's a greater likelihood he'll regress then I don't think there's any way he
I
could
just
do better than
visualize
last
Puka
year.
going this way
Cooper's
and the rest
in-
of the Rams
so
going
then
this way.
essentially
stays
you'd be-
healthy. We're not talking about Puka Nacua like this next year.
Nah.
So you're taking him
Puka was
before your
viable.
RB1 then.
Oh yeah. I'm turning the tide on that. I'd rather take a wide receiver in the first round. That was one of my big what did I learn
So
last
you
year.
would take Puka over CMC.
Well, CMC is probably like your RB2. I mean, sorry, 102 or something like that.
I think that this year what makes
Are you taking
the
Puka
wide
over
receiver interesting is the number of rookies that could actually just take off.
Yeah.
First, I think Malik could. I think Marvin could.
You got to work this stuff out now. You got a couple months left before we get into the grind.
I like Bijan over Puka.
Yes. Do you take Puka over Brees?
You're a
Yes.
Jets fan.
Oh man, I don't know.
I would take
You're
Puka
a
over
Jets
Brees Hall.
fan. I'm gonna hold it.
Don't forget.
You got a hard on for the Jets.
That's
All
my
right.
Puka take. Take what you want from that.
I
but
don't think it's a bad take, and I get why people are going to draft him. I'm just
Yeah.
I wish he would have had 12 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
That way he would have regressed to
It's just the same
10.
thing that you guys are saying about why he might regress is it goes one way or the other.
Let me
it's
ask you a question.
50-50. Like he can either regress or he's not. What I've seen through a year of production is a lot of green flags that will make it look like it's going to happen again and
You're not
potentially
wrong.
even better.
Let me ask you this question.
That's what I'm saying.
He's
Would you
big.
feel
He's
this
fast.
way?
He runs crisp routes. You're not
Yeah.
wrong.
Would you feel this way if Cup was not white? Because I feel like you wouldn't. I feel
Yeah, I don't
like
see color, man.
The only thing, I mean, we got to get to the next one, but what I would say is that, yeah, so he had like a great year
he did.
and 5 touchdowns. So let's say he gets 2 more. Do we think the yardage stays the same? Do we I think he's going to regress somewhere.
Cooper Kupp, when
I
he
think
was
you might have seen, unless we're talking about a guy that's going to be all-time wide receiver, I think
Or-
we might have seen the top of the peak,
Yeah, but we've
and he's going to
seen-
hover around there.
we've seen this happen with like 3 or 4 wide receivers in the last 6 years.
They're better than him.
Who says who through
Me,
fantasy?
who I say. I say that.
Puka's an interesting receiver
Stamp it.
because he's to me, he's an atypical, I mean,
Samoan.
we're talking about MVPs.
Atypical
He's an
Samoan?
atypical body shape, the routes he runs. Like, we don't often see receivers like him that are the true 1-1s on their team.
Have a mullet.
I like that, though. You
You
can't.
said body shape.
Yeah. What do you
Yeah,
mean by
he's-
I
that?
think you
He's-
mean body type.
He's
When you say
thicker,
shape,
he's
it's
a little bit shorter.
He
than
looks like
average.
he looks like Debo to me a little bit.
What?
White. He looks like Samoan Debo.
He's got that punk mentality.
Whoa.
What?
That's what you said.
All right, go
I
with
said
your
bum. Big
Bum.
difference.
go with your bust.
Yeah. Okay, my bust
Wait,
is...
time out. Before we get into the busts, a little word from one of our partners and sponsors,
Can't wait to
CHALKBOARD.
get into the bust.
Make sure you click the link in the bio, scan the QR code on screen because we know that works. It is a entirely free fantasy group chat of over 300 plus members
free,
that you get to ask questions in 24/7. You get a boatload of opinions. You're seeing all of our archived videos in there to go back and watch. You're getting start sits. You're getting picks. You're getting cheat sheets. It's seriously a free app. It helps us. It helps you. You should do it. CHALKBOARD.
It's
do the thing.
seriously free.
It's seriously free.
That's a good slogan. Seriously
It's a
free.
lot of fun. It's a good community.
And real quick before we get into our bus, we know assholes. CMC is the MVP of that division. We're giving you other people. All right, you don't
Yeah.
need to be told to go draft CMC
Yeah.
at 1-1 or 1-2.
I don't know. He's
Someone
getting old.
jumps on land.
He's getting old.
But yeah, he is, and I
He's
think we
27
also
and a half.
we also don't want to always go with the as obvious of the choice.
Yeah, we
like
don't
I
go-
think you're like that's a
Kyler Murray? I don't
Awesome
think
pick.
that's a-
no, but I think it's an awesome
think
pick. I think it's a gutsy
People
pick.
have
Why
a
don't you
short
just
memory.
suck 'em
Is what I
off?
think.
Good lord.
Yeah, so we're not Chalk, but join CHALKBOARD.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh,
Wow. All right, go talk.
yeah. So my bust is, and it kills me to say it, but it's JSN. I am nervous. He started off last year on a bad note with a wrist injury. He got better after week 6, but even after week 6, he only averaged 8.2 fantasy points a game. I believe he is the second best receiver in Seattle, but I just don't love the offense. I like it, but I don't love it. And
He likes it.
the problem with that
It's like a good
offense is
girlfriend.
who's the hot receiver that week. And I think they switch
sexual.
around.
Well, also, what Geno Smith are you getting?
Yeah.
Is that line healthy?
You guys were throwing JSN last preseason, though.
What?
Yeah. You
I
guys
mean,
were throwing
I'd
it.
have to go back and watch.
I
it.
agree, I
doubt
was,
it.
and that's why it kills me to step
think I
back.
was.
But to me, I think this year he's going to be wide receiver 3
Quentin
again.
Johnson. Who had Quentin Johnson top 5? Is that you?
I'm on record. You can go back and see this. I on record was saying
Quentin
that he was
Johnson's
a
a good
draft
pick.
bust. Like the first second we started talking rookies, I was not on the Quinn Johnson train.
Quentin Johnson
I
was
think,
just
I think
fine
you.
this
I
year.
think you fucking started talking. Someone
no.
started talking. I started believing the juice. Or,
No, I didn't. I
drinking
never
the
liked
juice.
Quentin
We'd have to
Johnson.
go back. I think I had him ranked fifth.
I
I told people to draft
opinion.
Quentin
I
Johnson.
like Quentin last year, and I still like him. I think he's going to be fine this year.
How's his body shape?
Lad McConkey.
Tall and lean.
Yeah, but how's Lad McConkey though?
Yeah,
Lad
what about
McConkey
Lad?
is a good receiver. He's a slot. Wes Welker.
Smart.
Notice
He's
how-
smart.
yeah.
He's a gym rat.
He's got a lot
Smartest
of
guy in the
guts.
room.
Last guy.
He's well-spoken.
Last
He
guy
has
out of
great
the
manners.
gym. Last guy out of the gym. Yeah.
The guy you want,
Whatever white.
You'd be happy to marry
stereotype you
your
wanna
daughter.
throw into it.
This is the guy you take home to meet the parents for sure.
You get Lad.
Mel Kiper says this shit on the draft day. It would be so funny.
I'm trusting Nick Sabat to playbook. I know he's a coach on the field. All those
he's a
things.
Good guy, great guy. I'd like to see.
Good guy in the locker room.
My daughter,
But
bring home.
I think Quentin's going to have a decent year this year. I'm going to go record. But
Right,
anyways,
Cut the dreads. He'd be a little
it
faster.
kills me to say JSN is a wide receiver 3, but I think until one of the other two leads,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is what it is.
See, now I actually disagree with you. I think that JSN,
No
I'm
shit.
snatching him up in all of my drafts because I'm getting him so super late right now. I'm getting him in around like 17.
super late.
Super duper late.
So like in all the best balls where it's 20 round drafts, I'm getting him like 17 and later. I'm getting my hands on him as much as I can because I think he's one of those guys that could potentially have a high ceiling if they utilize him correctly.
Potentially
I think Lockett fades this year, finally.
We said that last year.
I think Lockett is going to be their possession receiver. I think that JSN is going to be their field stretcher, and Metcalf is obviously going to be their all
Metcalf.
utility guy. It's just DK Metcalf.
I agree
He's a
with
freak.
everything
Deebo
you're
Samuel
saying.
of the
Freaking
It's just
Seahawks.
that you said potentially could,
If,
and that's the
maybe.
same thing that I'm worried about. We said Lockett was going to regress last year. He didn't. He still had those games where he stole the show.
That's because the son of a bitch has been hit like 7 times in his
Yeah,
career.
he always like kind of goes under the hit.
You always
Smart
come
man.
for a Tyler
For
Lockett
who?
game
For
though.
what?
But I just don't think that's changed this year. And I'm not excited about Geno. I'm not.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Smartest
cool.
guy in the room. All right, so for my bust, I'm
on the
traveling
field.
on down to where are they at? They in LA now? The Rams? Okay.
Sad.
I'm going to Rams. Kyron Williams.
We are guys on sports.
And here's why. We talked about Kyron Williams a lot last year, and I do like him as a runner. I'm not going to say I don't like him as a runner. He seems to have good vision, footwork, pretty nice. But 12 games he's missed in the last 2 seasons, and the Rams and Mr. Sean McVay went and spent the 3rd round pick on Corum, whatever. Why do I
Blake
not have
Corum.
his name?
Blake Corum.
I just have
Blake.
Corum here.
Blake Corum.
Blake Corum. Yeah,
Blake
Blake
Corum
Corum.
believer.
I like how I tried to use his first name.
I just have
Corum
Corum in my
Jenkins?
notes.
What the fuck is his last name?
Corum in the house.
Drake Corum, Drizzy Corum. So I know Rocky doesn't
That's his
love
nickname,
him.
by the way. I'm
That's
using
funny.
that now on the show.
So
Drizzy Corum.
yeah, so they want to spend that draft capital on him, and yeah, Kyron has been good. I do think there's. I mean, first 2 years, you're missing that amount of games. I think there's an injury concern, just a durability concern with him being that guy. I don't think that he's going to disappear by any stretch, but I think Corum's going to get his fair share. And he also fits the run scheme that. So last year they switched. You know, I did my research today. They switched to more of a gap running scheme, which kind of favors a guy with a little bit of patience, but can make one cut and just get upfield, which is kind of Corum's style. He's a powerful runner. One cut, gets upfield, hits the hole, and could break some tackles. I think he's going to take some of those touches away. And McVay, we know, is a guy that will. I mean, if you're not Todd Gurley, he's going to ride the hot hand, whoever it is, their running
Even
back.
if you are Todd Gurley,
I
don't
guess.
give a shit.
But that was
about
at the
running
end. It was
backs.
at the end. I'm just saying, like, I don't see, like,
Todd
I don't know
Gurley-
where he's going right now. You probably know better, Kyron, but I don't think he's a guy I would pencil in as like a high end RB2 like I was maybe a month
Todd
ago.
Gurley should still be pissed. He's still like 23 years old.
He got
Like,
paid
he's
though.
Young, he's
He
young
got
as
paid.
hell.
He got paid.
He made a lot of money.
Oh my God, he's still younger than like the majority of the running backs in the league, and probably can still play for crying out loud.
Atlanta
he was
type
good
goalie
as
says
last year. Was
otherwise.
he with
Atlanta?
Atlanta, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I actually do like Blake. They're similar
Drake,
runners.
Drizzy.
Yeah,
His
Drake.
name is Drizzy Corum.
Yeah,
Drizzy
okay.
Corum, that's it.
They're similar running backs. They're both smaller, and that's kind of my only fear.
No.
Again, Kyron does get
He's
hurt
a
a lot.
stout. See, now his body shape
He is big.
is
as
more.
far as like he's 200
he's
pounds.
well
of
put together.
Like
He's
a
a
small,
stout guy.
like a short Guinness.
I love
Smaller,
Forever How
but he's
Fantasy
thicker.
Podcast. We talk
He's
about
thicker.
like
Yeah, he is thicker.
people's body shape so much on a fantasy
Yeah, you don't get this
podcast.
analysis anywhere else.
No.
You don't.
Listen,
Everybody else talking about body types. We go on body
We
shapes.
appeal to all genders.
Hey.
We appeal to bring your wife in the room,
wait
man.
till
Get
you-
her into fantasy
Wait till you
football.
get my deep cut. I'm going to talk all about a guy's body shape.
The one thing I'll say about the Kyron Williams pick is I think this is what I'm saying with Puka. I just think it's the opposite with the wide receivers. I don't think that Sean McVay values a productive running back. Like the next hot hand is a thing.
Yeah.
The injury history already with Kyron Williams, it's not a lot. Like I don't want to overblow injury with him, but
He lost
Yeah.
12 games. I mean,
No, I mean 12 games in his first 2 years
Yeah.
is something.
Yeah.
But
Well, they were
here-
on his first season, basically, too, though.
no, he was
I mean,
out last year for
last
five,
year-
five
it was
games.
both years by half and half.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was 5
was
games
six-
last year.
six one
That's
year,
just it. He
six
just
the other
runs
year.
out or runs down because he's like 5'9".
They played 12 games last year.
But
So
Corum, draft Drizzy Corum.
the other last point, Sean McVay, the guy that remembers the play from like 10 years ago, doesn't draft a guy in the third round just for shits and giggles. So
Yeah.
that's my main point. It's like Kyron Williams, Ryan's on the wall. Maybe he's just a committee back. Don't draft him like he's going to be your starter week in and week out because there's going to be weeks where
Yeah, he's
he's
gonna
not the
disappear.
guy and you're going to be screwed. So
But you're right about like a third-round pick in today's NFL for a running back.
It's basically
You're
a
serious.
first-round pick.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
you're
that
serious.
is the first
That's
round
high
running
draft
back pick.
capital for a running back. Especially
Unless you're Carolina,
with McVay.
who is run by idiots. Who they drafted a injured running back in the second round, I believe.
As a quarterback last year.
Nice.
Injured running back as a quarterback last year, the very first pick.
He could throw the ball.
I like this pick with Kyron Williams because where he is going now, he's going at the back end of round 1.
Oh my
And
God.
the beginning of round 2. It is
Disgusting.
insane.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, 2 years ago when he was a rookie, if we go back and roll the tapes, I was very high on Kyron Williams. I said that
were.
he was eventually going to take over that backfield. I was a year early.
Little pat on the back,
You said
huh?
that
No,
about,
I was a year early. I was off on that season. But
you said that about
everybody.
Zach Evans last year.
We got to give him his flowers.
Hey, I drafted Zach Evans.
You know what
based
Zach
on that
Evans? You know what the
bastard.
pattern? The pattern. Zach Evans is gonna pop the fuck off this year. Because
I hope so because
you
he's
were-
on my
you-
damn bench because of this bastard.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I started him. I started him one week.
You never
last
know.
year.
You never know. If McVay, doesn't value running back, so it could be anybody's game.
All right, who's your guy?
I have as my bust George Kittle, and here's why.
This is good.
Here's why.
Thank you.
Do I think
This is very good.
Do I think he is going to regress in his statistical categories? Not necessarily. I think that he's probably going to be consistently targeted. I think he'll still show up with his 60 to 70 receptions, hover around 800 yards, and probably a handful of touchdowns. I think that this team has a lot of offensive weaponry. I think that Purdy may be playing slightly above his head. There's a lot of factors here that lead me to not want to draft him as high, seeing as how so many tight ends have caught up to him. I just think that the draft capital with tight end is so deep this year that you don't have to go and spend a high pick on George Kittle. I don't think that you have to go and get George Kittle. It used to be George Kittle in the top 3 picks, top 4 picks. It was always Kelsey, Andrews, Kittle. It was always those guys. But now you're going to see this year especially, you're going to have guys catching him. You're going to see Trey McBride right up there with his stats. You're going to see Kyle Pitts in this new offense with his stats. You're going to see Cole Kmet with a young rookie quarterback up there with his stats. All
Laporta.
these guys that can potentially do it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that you have
Dallas
to go
Goedert.
out and get Kittle
Yeah.
like you used to have to get Kittle.
TJ Hawk.
I almost
TJ Hawkinson.
Not pissed.
Not Darren Waller.
put
Y'all just
I
retire,
almost put
please.
him in my as a bust candidate. I mean, you think about it, everybody you just named, Laporta, Trey McBride, Kelsey still.
Well, I didn't even name Laporta. Laporta is top 2 off the board.
Yeah, you did. But
100%. I was trying to name a couple guys down.
Keep
a little
going.
bit.
Keep going. I'm actually thinking about like Njoku.
Of course, you're thinking about Njoku.
Well, the last part of his
I probably
season,
would take Njoku right now over Kittle.
Kincaid.
Honestly.
Yeah, I
Based
mean,
on where I can get him. Yeah.
It
Kincaid,
is crazy.
Njoku.
Are you taking Bowers?
Hawkinson when he comes back.
Give me Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz.
He was number
Jake
10.
Ferguson.
Evan
I'm getting
Ingram.
Jake Ferguson
Jake
right
Ferguson.
now.
Evan
Where I'm getting
Ingram.
Jake Ferguson is
Give me
fucking
Evan
criminal.
Ingram. We didn't even mention
I'm
Evan Ingram.
I'm getting
Boy,
Ferguson.
the Giants.
Evan Ingram.
What were they thinking?
I'm getting Jake Ferguson as
Jaguars,
my
isn't it?
tight end 1, right?
Jagoff.
In like the 11th and 12th round. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because he's going to have the same production as that tier of tight end. He's going to be in that same tier as Kittle, possibly even higher.
Well, and Kittle, to me, he isn't like 38, but he's not young anymore. And he is, I mean, he's missed parts of the last couple seasons with injuries. There's a lot of hands in that offense that desire
To be
the ball.
touched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I was waiting
that
to
was
see where
super
that
awkward.
went.
Yeah, but-
I thought you were
Alright,
going to say
cool.
a lot of hands and Kittle there for a second.
Yeah.
All right, good, Zach.
Alrighty, so I'll round out the NFC West bus with a guy named Kenneth Walker.
Who's that?
Man, we had a lot of K's on this.
Taken back
did.
to, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, we
taking
should
taking it
count
back
them
to Seattle, where we started this bust segment. I'll take you back to kind of what the season looked like last year, right, for Kenneth Walker. So a super front-loaded fantasy production through the first 7 weeks of football. He was your man. Like, you drafted him to be what he was through 7 weeks of football. He finished as the RB20. He has a groin, an ankle, an ab sprain. This is all compiling injuries for a running back.
Soft tissue injuries as well, which are concerning.
Yeah, like soft tissue, and then like your ankle, never good as a running back. And Charbonnet led the backfield in red zone touches last year. He was more involved as a receiver. I just like the trend of Charbonnet versus the trend of Kenneth Walker. Not saying Charbonnet is going to be an NFC West fantasy MVP. I'm just saying with how good Charb was, how they used him in the red zone, how he caught the ball more, with Kenneth Walker's injuries, being the RB20, a good front-loaded 7 weeks of football. It's a formula that makes me not want to draft Kenneth Walker.
yeah.
I like that pick. I'm not even going to offer any pushback on that either. I like the way K9 runs when he does run.
I like Kenneth
But
Walker.
he doesn't run all the time. The guy is, you hate to say injury prone, but I mean he does. He gets a lot of these soft tissue injuries.
Well, the
He
offense
takes a lot of
didn't
plays
regress
off.
when Zach was in. He looked, like you said, he looked fine. I mean, he was a startable running back. I started him 4 or 5 weeks last year.
I've got Sharp in my dynasty league, and again, I'm not saying that Sharp is a starting. You can't start Charbonnet every week in fantasy.
No.
I just think.
No.
I just don't think Kenneth. I think Kenneth Walker could be a bust this year.
Okay.
That would be the segment. The segment would be who you
Yep.
thought was a bust.
All right,
Well,
I
you
want
can nail
to. I
it.
want to throw in a deep cut
here he goes.
dynasty. And Mark, I don't know, you're pretty good with this stuff too, but
I don't like
I
that.
want to
Oh,
bring
shit.
up a name
Saying
because
you guys
we've-
aren't.
Who's
Well,
the
I don't
1-1
obsess over
running
college
back?
students, so
Yeah, I do actually. Who's the 1-1 running back?
Out of context.
Clip that.
I won't do that.
Oh, that's fine.
On contrary to Rocky.
I don't care if you do. I do obsess about college.
What are you trying to say here?
Who is the 1-1 running back
One
This
in
year?
dynasty?
for the last several years?
CMC?
CMC.
Oh, I get
The
what you mean.
49ers drafted a guy that I think is the eventual, and I think sooner rather than later. The reality is CMC has got tons of carries.
Yeah.
He has absolutely been the workhorse everywhere he's been his entire career. And it's been amazing. Other than 1 year, he's really held up well.
Yeah.
At some point, he's hitting the cliff. And they drafted his replacement, Isaac Giordano, from Louisville.
Sounds
This
Italian.
guy is a beast. They don't build people like this. 6 foot, 220 pounds, 4.33 speed. Every one of his measurables at the combine were in the number 1 or number 2. It was unreal, like across the board.
Sounds like Derrick Henry is who this guy sounds like.
Derrick Henry, and it's probably going to be similar where he's probably going to sit this year. But if you're in a dynasty league where you can take somebody and stash him on a 4-year contract, 100% get this guy. 6.1 yard average every time he touched the ball, anywhere he was. The issue with him is he was at Wisconsin and he was behind 2 eventual
NFL starters.
day 2 running backs that were drafted, so he just couldn't find any room. Every time he touched the ball, 6 yards, a ton of touchdowns, but then he broke out in Louisville. This guy has got it all.
Saying it wrong. It's Louisville.
Louisville. Yeah,
Louisville.
New Orleans. Anyways, so if you got a chance to stash this guy, get him. You might catch, I wouldn't say catch a break.
Lightning in a bottle, maybe? Is that
It
what you're
could be
saying?
this
Or-
year where
the flu.
CMC starts wearing down and you see the transition.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Najee Jalen Warren, where Jalen has been outproducing Najee and they didn't
Okay.
pick up his 5th year. so.
Interesting. So this is the Steelers running back room.
It's also because Mike Tomlin doesn't give a shit about running backs either.
Yeah.
Although Le'Veon is back, so look out.
Cool.
Anyways,
That's a good
my
nugget.
deep cut.
Appreciate that. That is the show. Thank you for sticking around. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, join Chalkboard. It's free. Make money through Thrive Fantasy. We will see you on the next one where we talk about another NFC division. Peace.
Peace.
Deep breathe.